Today I want to talk about a topic that is near and dear to my heart. It's elusive, and some people call it resilience. This term antifragile has come up around it, but it's really, how do you stick to doing things? How do you think about things long term? The reason it comes up for me this past week is I read this shocking and beautiful story from Diego Saez Gil. He's one of the founders of Pachama, and his house in the California fires completely burned down. He posted a picture on Medium of, it's like the cement foundation of this house. It's been just freaking vaporized. And he, in every word of that post, he just spoke from such a beauty, more than it's gonna be okay. There was just a sense that this was the beginning of something, that he and the people around him would be somehow stronger, better, more beautiful than what came before. And obviously it was a disruption. Obviously, a lot of people look at it as a total disaster, but there was just such a tone in what he wrote that was really inspiring. I've shared it with people in the carbon removal field, but also beyond. It's just the ability to take in a fire hose of energy and experience like that, and be able to direct it towards something that's inspiring and awe creating was really beautiful to read. And that's as many people are going through this type of situation in California with a massive wildfires around the entire state. Here in the Bay Area, there's three large fires within driving distance. The air quality here has been 100, 150 AQI, so not great to go outside. So there's a lot of people that are in some sense of losing their houses or being evacuated. A good friend of mine was evacuated from their house in Napa at a particularly challenging time for them. But this brings me back to this idea of anti-fragile, which I don't really know what it means. I know it was the title of a book. I know I started reading the book, but I got this sense that anti-fragile is kind of this concept of things being like bones, where they get better as they're more stressed, or they get stronger as things get a little bit more chaotic. The reason I say bones is my understanding of bones from my background in biomedical engineering is that bones actually get stronger the more you use them, the more you stress them. If your bones aren't used, they actually get brittle and weak, and they're prone to breaking. So if you want strong bones, it means you need to use them, you need to put them to use. And I think biological systems like that are really fascinating to me, because it's like, if I think about using a piece of electronics, or I think about using a plastic device or something, the more I use it, like you bend plastic and you can just see it like getting weaker as you go. But natural systems, biological systems, sometimes have this ability to get stronger when they're exposed to strain and stress. And really, if you look at strain and stress as something that makes you stronger, then stress just becomes something that there's something from my friend Dan Walsh says is, stress is just opportunity for improvement. Stress is a sign you're getting stronger. So if you sort of flip the script on it, then when something stressful happens, you say, oh my God, this is going to make me so much stronger. Let's get to it. Let's dig in. I really love that. I love that message from Diego. And I see hints of that in the carbon removal community. I just love to see more of it, where people can look at the climate, they can look at the planet, and they can see to 2050 and beyond the better world and the better universe that we're going to create. These are our first steps to engineer the planet and engineer the atmosphere and engineer society kind of on purpose, with an intent that we didn't used to have. When we put all this carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, it's debatable, but in general, people didn't have an idea that it would be this harmful, or it would cause this kind of change in the system. But where one person sees harm, I think that we can also see this opportunity for resilience, for anti-fragile, for what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, Kelly Clarkson, that kind of stuff. I mean, I think that's just when I wake up and think about the climate, that is truly why I'm working in this field. Before I got interested, I always had this perception that was just kind of this doom and gloom thing, and I've talked about this before, but boy, that just doesn't get me anywhere. And so I loved Diego's piece. Have you come across any other pieces like this, or anybody else that's really for you embodying that? I'd love to hear about them, love to meet them, love to share their work with other people. I think that it's something that often can get lost in the just lost in the turmoil of it. With climate, a lot of people assume it's like, oh, you're really scared, right? No. Oh, you're driven by fear and doom. I think for some people that can be an input for their their interest and their drive for it. But for me, and I think for other people, there's this sense that there's opportunity, or there's optimism, or there's possibilism, and that's why we do what we do. Another friend of mine said, imagine that the things that you label as, oh, that's something that's bad. Imagine that's just something that you can change it. You can say, oh, wow, this is something that's transformative. This is something that's going to help me grow. And I think that there's just such a need for that in the climate community. On the other hand, maybe you've heard this all before. Maybe you're like living this, you're like doing this all the time. I'd love to hear about it, because the challenge is it's kind of invisible from the outside. Like, how does somebody work? How does somebody think about this stuff? Have they seen adversity as an opportunity for growth? I hear that, talking with Aaron and Kristen in the Carbon 180 Entrepreneur in Residence talks, right? You get that sense that, like, oh my gosh, here's somebody that's able to take something that comes in and just turn it into, and craft it and shape it and sculpt it, turn it into whatever it needs to be in that moment, whatever they need. So check out, we had the interview with them that you can check out. It's not something I've gotten the chance to talk about with so many inspired people in the carbon community. But my sense is there's a lot of people that have these stories, and I'd love to hear them. I'd love to share them. So if you're up for sharing, message me. Tell me about what's going on with you. In particular, this is a crazy time, right? Where so many of us are at home because of COVID-19. Some more are stuck at home because of, like, actually in your homes because of fire. Others of us have lost our homes because of fire. So it's an unusual time, and it can be easy to label it as a bad time. But I know that there's people out there. I know there's many of you out there who are shaping this and understanding this and seeing this for something else. And I'd love to hear more about that. Check out Diego's article and look for this type of spirit. I think that's looking forward to 2050. I think when people look back at the time now, they'll say, what a time to be alive. What a time to start to create and to solve these challenges and to turn them into the inventions and innovations that will create that future, both on this planet, this atmosphere, and other planets and other atmospheres. So go out there and be resilient.